I'm not going to take my last breath on this planet Earth. God knows when that will be. Thinking about somebody from my past who didn't give up.
What do it ain't, y'all? This girl such a crazy, and it's gonna come to you, and you with another word on the street segment. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video, as well as hype your girl up, because you only get 3 chances each week, and you already know what to do. Let me be one of them. So let's get into this video. So Falynn recently had an appearance on the Relationships Matter podcast, where she claimed she always knew Simon was talking to Porsha Williams inappropriately after she joined the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Now, if y'all remember,
let's rewind.
Carlos King did an interview with Porsha, and this is what Porsha said about the situation.
Did you not think at the time that, oh, they're going to think I took this woman's husband?
You know, here's the thing. I take full accountability for my part in the optics, okay? And I take full accountability for not speaking to the narrative once again. At that time, I just didn't feel like it was my place. You know, the things that I knew about her and his relationship, it did not feel like it was my place. I had heard her do an interview, and she was like, well, if I'm pregnant, I'll say so. Me, I'm a woman. I'm gonna respect that. If she wants to tell that about herself while that's on her.
Because you knew she was pregnant at the time, and you were protecting the story.
It was not my place.
It wasn't your place.
Yeah, it just wasn't my place to speak on. And I knew it very early on. You know, it was one of the reasons that, you know, they were where they were in their relationship. It just wasn't my place. And even though if I would have taken that information and put it out, would it have freed me from the shackles of the Scarlet Letter? Sure, it would have. But that's the price that I paid at that time to just stay out of it. You know what I mean? And for me, when it goes back to whether she was my friend or not, no, she wasn't. I also had text messages that showed the day I was going to film, the producer sent me her number and said, hey, this is her number so you can meet her. I did not know her. I did not know anything. And of course, I filmed with her, and, you know, fist pump Simon, did not even recognize him or anything. I had known him like 8 years ago, didn't even recognize him, had met her that day for the first time. But you know what? At the end of the day, it is what it is. I know that people at this point are going to believe what they want to believe anyway. There's some people who hear my side and they're hearing it to understand. And then there's some people who are hearing me to figure out a way to trip it up and switch it up all over again. So I'm still responsible for me. I'm not going to speak to his part. I'm not going to speak to her part. I wish her well. I wish him well at the end of the day. That was years ago. I married him and we're now divorced, and pretty much that's that. But, you know, when I think about it, yes, if I were to speak on some of the information that I had at the time, would it have made it better? Maybe. Because as a public figure and as someone who's been in reality TV, I can sit here and be telling you the absolute truth. And there may be 60% of people who just are determined to say, nope, you stole him. He was legally married. That's what you did, and that's what it is. And so I just paid that cost. Like, it is what it is. I just have to continue on living my life. That's one of the burdens of being a reality star.
So Falynn, she wasn't having this, y'all. She saw it and she took to her Instagram stories and she said, I know you freaking lying. See, I was okay with never speaking on this situation again, but as long as 265 is out here doing interviews, taking so quote unquote accountability and acting as a Captain Save-A-O with Carlos King, F it. Time to blow the dust off these receipts.
You want to tell our business? Blow it up!
So that everyone can take real accountability. And this finally DIE. And she never gave the receipts, not to my knowledge. So if y'all saw the receipts, let me know in the comment section below. But fast forward to this podcast, this is what she had to say about the situation. So according to Falynn, one moment especially stood out to her while filming the show. She recalled an early interaction where several of the women were upstairs inside her home while Porsha allegedly stayed downstairs alone speaking with Simon for around 30 minutes. Now, Falynn suggested the private conversation immediately raised suspicions for her.
I knew that Simon was talking to Porsha inappropriately. The day that we filmed, the first day that we filmed together at our home, was the day that I knew. When they had asked me to do the show, I had never seen it. What Simon and I did was we binge watched like the past few seasons or whatever prior to us going on the show. When we agreed to do it, we were just in our bedroom watching specifically this one episode. She did this move where she jiggled all that body fat that she has, whipping the eggs. And so I thought it was hilarious. And Simon and I both thought it was so funny. Now, that day we wrapped. Lights cut off. Production is, packing up. Me, Lauren, and Tanya, we all go upstairs into my bathroom. Simon and Porsha are downstairs by themselves. I'm talking about at least half an hour. I didn't think anything of it. He would say so many times as we're watching these episodes how much she looked like a dog, and who could wake up next to that face in the morning without makeup. So I'm thinking nothing of it, right? But of course, now I get it, men always talk shit about the woman that they're actually screwing.
Now, flag on play. Did Simon really say that? Or did you say that? And he just probably laughed. I'm just saying, but sassy Simon, he probably says shit like that too. But I don't know, not at this time maybe. What y'all think? Let me know in the comment section below.
And I'm waiting on her to come upstairs as we're all talking. 30 minutes about there passes, and Porsha finally joins us in my bathroom. And out of nowhere, she does the jiggle fat move. And I said, how did you know that I laughed at that? How did you know specifically to do that to make me laugh? They had already been pillow talking or whatever the case was. That was the first clue, I feel like, of every woman's intuition where we see it, but we don't really say it.
Porsha ready to steal somebody else's husband. Yours. Yours.
That's assignment. He comes into the group chat. He got to say something. He has to defend himself. But anyways, he went on his Instagram story and he said, 5 years removed, still unbothered, and ex-wife still claiming I was unfaithful with 0 receipts. Meanwhile, there's a whole child out here celebrating her indiscretions. My 100,000 a reward for anyone who can prove I cheated in either of my last 2 marriages still stands. Unclaimed, untouched, I'll wait. # gullible audience. So then he posted this screenshot of a conversation he had with somebody that replied to his story I just read to y'all. Sir, I suggest at this point, stop granting interviews and do you low key. You're a Nigerian billionaire. Do your work on your ex-wife low key. Thank you. The worst thing you can do in life is allow someone to craft a narrative that destroys everything you've built. I'm fortunate to live in a country like the UA, a nation with 3 trillion in sovereign wealth that guards its reputation with the same discipline it guards its assets. Something we can all learn from. Let that be your lesson for the day. And so the man replied, or whoever replied, now I get your point, sir. Definitely you will come out stronger and bigger. Wishing you well. So then he posts this footage from his Ring camera showing Falynn and the pool boy together, saying that she was cheating. So then Falynn, she come on her Instagram story and she claps back. And this is what she says. Now here you go with the cheating video on February 18, 2021 of Jaylen walking into the house after him and I went out. Let me remind you, you left me on February 14th at 7 a.m. to drive to Miami to meet with Porsha and Shamia. You and I were separated of the time of that video of Jaylen. So then she posts some conversations between her and Simon. So it reads, she did not. Okay, I will look into what the issue is. I can't figure why the gate is still open. Maybe check the uncle. How does he get to the trash bin? Wait, what? Check the uncle. How does he get to the trash bins out on Thursdays? He may be holding the gates open with the trash bin and causing it to stay open. Oh, okay. Gate is now closed. Uncle left at 5:14 a.m. and the gate did not close behind him after he left. Had cell gate attempt a reset, but did not work. I had Lauren clean the white round plastic reflectors, and it closed after that. When it's dirty, probably due to the rain, the signals will not work. The conversation was had discussing the reason for Jaylen staying at our home that evening, yet you claim you didn't know and I was cheating. Okay, so camera shows Jaylen came home with you last night. Care to explain? The side door was showing it was not The side door was showing it was not locking, so Jaylen went around to check it out. I went to the front because it was raining and dark. As far as him staying, he rode with me, but I was alone and intoxicated. And the next time you want to know something, just ask. No need to snoop around, checking cameras, and attempt to control me. I'm not going to do this on text, so you can call me. I have to work, and I don't need this negative energy right now. We had already begun making plans for a move out to occur. You're not stupid. A waste of time. Yes, you are absolutely right. When you get here, I suggest we speak about you moving into your apartment or going our separate ways. We are definitely going our separate ways, Falynn. We have done enough damage to each other and don't see a way to reconcile. You can stay at the house and sort yourself out. I'll wire your funds to you. $300,000. Damn, wire me some. I need some, Simon. So you should be good for now. The rest can be sorted out by the attorneys. So after the news broke of you and Porsha getting engaged, you called my friend at the time exclaiming that Porsha's career was on the verge of ruin and exclaimed if I spoke on your relationship with Porsha, you wouldn't know what she was going to do and I couldn't stop her. And if I did say anything, you would tell the world that I cheated on you and everyone would believe you over me. When I did speak up, you sent me a cease and desist in fear I would say more. Then you did a recent interview with Tasha K threatening my life. But the threat stops today. So baby, then husband Jaylen came in the conversation. He said, I kept it respectful, stayed quiet and minded my business this whole time, even after you threatened to my wife and constantly disrespected her publicly. But the second you decided to mention my child, you crossed the line. No grown man should ever cross. My daughter's name is Emma. She is innocent and has absolutely nothing to do with grown folks' problems. The fact you would even bring a child into your bitterness and internet drama says more about you than it ever will about anybody else. Real man handles issues with adults. Speaking on a little girl to make a point is weak behavior, plain and simple. I don't do the internet back and forth, and I've stayed out the way out of respect, but when it comes to my family, especially my child, I will always speak up. Keep my wife's name out your mouth and leave my daughter out of whatever narrative you trying to create. Emma should have never been mentioned in the first place, period. You've been married 4 times and still somehow convince yourself everybody else is the problem. At some point, you got to stop blaming every woman, every relationship, and every situation around you and realize the common denominator has been you the entire time. That level of lack of accountability is exactly why history keeps repeating itself.
And they did not give a. That is fine. I wish you the best of luck. I truly do. And I wish you happiness. If it wasn't with me, that is fine. But there is someone out there who wants to genuinely be with me and will rock with me and who I am.